That's a very interesting question because I work across multiple formats, but largely my because as you know about my background, I do a lot of stuff related to HR advisory and leadership consulting. So obviously, because I'm doing an advisory, work mostly with the CXOs and the CEOs, and now I'm increasingly working with a lot of founders.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. Today we're honored to welcome Dr. Vineet Mangal to the podcast, an HR thought leader, executive coach, faculty member, and the co-founder of BeWise Consult. With over 30 years of experience across global organizations in education, tech, manufacturing, and services, Dr. Mangal has worn many hats, from HR officer to board advisor, from strategist to teacher. His passion lies in bridging the gap between business goals and people strategy, and he's done just that by leading cultural transformations between HR systems from the ground up and mentoring the next generation of leaders. Armed with a PhD in management and certifications in DISC, NLP, and leadership coaching, he brings a unique mix of academic depth and practical insight to every conversation. Whether he's advising on HR tech, enabling performance frameworks like OKRs and balanced scoreboards, or coaching executives to elevate their presence, his work is rooted in clarity, impact, and long-term growth. Dr. Vineet, we're thrilled to have you in the podcast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rajan. Thank you so much, and thank you for giving such an elaborative and illustrative about my career journey. And good to hear it from you.
You're
And it's a
welcome.
pleasure to be on the show today.
You're welcome. Tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become an executive or a career coach.
So, Rajan, as you mentioned, that I've been into industry from last 30 years, being into HR leadership role in couple of companies across the countries, Middle East, India, Southeast Asian places. So now when you are into HR leadership role, one of the things which definitely comes to you is that people come to you a lot of time for some kind of an advice. And that becomes so much part and parcel of it that makes you feel that, oh, you can be consulted by anyone and they can ask you for the feedback or opinion about it. But gradually, one start realizing that this has a more serious work to do rather than just taking it that lightly. So I think around 15 years ago, I decided that there must be some things seriously I have to do when it comes to getting into a coaching, rather than just doing it sporadically without any format or without any technical qualification in hand. That's how I started serious about it and got into the coaching business. When I say coaching business, I started coaching around 15 years ago, but for profit, I started coaching 5 years ago when I started my own company. So that's how my journey is. Still learning a lot from each other. So being a coach will give you a lot of opportunity to interact and learn from each other's experience and the situation in which they are.
And how does your journey look like from the point that you started your coaching business to where you are at today?
See, Rajan, I think whenever I take stock of the whole situation, I think over a period of time, it is getting more refined day by day. And when it started, it was more unstructured, it was more need driven. But today, what I can say is that there is more merit to it, there's more science behind it, what I do. And there are specialized areas in which I do the coaching now. Earlier, it was like something anybody can be coached on anything. It could be an executive coach, it could be career, it could be anything. But now, consciously over the years, I have now started building a much more specialized view about coaching, and that's how I pick my assignments these days.
And who do you work with? Is there a specific group of people that you particularly work with?
That's a very interesting question because I work across multiple formats, but largely my because as you know about my background, I do a lot of stuff related to HR advisory and leadership consulting. So obviously, because I'm doing an advisory, I work mostly with the CXOs and the CEOs. And now I'm increasingly working with a lot of founders, those who are coming to the business either as a first generation and sometime as a second generation, taking a legacy from their parents or from the family. So most of the time I work with the CXOs. Having said that, I am keeping myself always open to coach even something who is not at that great level. I do coaching for the first time managers, but that is very few and far between. Largely my focus is with the CXOs.
And what marketing channel works best for you in finding them and connecting with these people?
So I'm still figuring it out, to be honest with you. Marketing is not something which naturally comes to me because being into corporate, I was always on the other side of the table, never required to do it. So that journey is still on for me. But generally, for me, the best which is working right now is through referencing. Most of my business is repeat, and most of my business is through some or the other reference which is there. Having said that, I time to time I try certain campaigns on the LinkedIn. I try to do some teams does some kind of calls also for our HR advisory business. But coaching business incidentally comes to me more through a reference, and that reference keeps me busy most of the time.
Mhm. So mostly referrals, right?
Yeah, mostly reference.
And how did you build this referral network?
So I think, like any other business, coaching business also requires certain amount of seriousness in what you deliver it to it. There has to be value proposition, and no matter whatever we claim to have holding our different degrees or the qualification which we have done or the kind of experience which we have got, at the end of the day, when we interact with somebody, when we coach somebody, if that value is not derived, if that value is not as per the requirement of a coachee, then it's not going to bring back the results the way we want. So my focus is always that where I'm into the coaching, the client of mine should get best out of me, and that should become one of the best session for him in terms of whatever he wants or she wants to take it out from that. So that is the value proposition I focus on. And most of the time, I also feel that there has to be understanding about the issue, which is very important because unless we understand the issue in detail, we will not be able to do justice to it.
I agree. And when it comes to goals, do you have any goals that you're working towards for the next 1 to 3 years with your coaching business?
Yeah, there are goals. I'm not too sure how much I'll be able to achieve because I have made very tall goals. So I have divided my coaching business into two parts. One is an executive coaching, which helps business grow, the leaders become more better leaders and take their journey to the next level. The second equally important piece, which I'm focusing right now, is a career coaching. And in career coaching, I have kept a goal of making sure that there should be at least 5,000 people in the next 5 years should be able to make a career transition after getting coaching done from me. I know it's a very tall one. To an extent, it might sound a little impractical also, but in the market which I operate, I see there are a lot of people those who are struggling with their career. There are a lot of challenges which needs to be addressed. And if we do just incremental way of solving this problem, probably it will take a long time. So I'm still not sure about the format which I'm going to use or how am I going to scale it to that extent. But I have given a very audacious goal for myself that in the next 5 years, there should be 5,000 people should be able to do their career transitioning and I should play an important role through a career coaching in their life.
Mhm. And do you have a team that you are thinking to help you out with this goal, or is it mostly you working on it?
I have a team which keeps on looking at what is the requirement in the market. They keep on doing their own research. They look at it, what kind of a lead generation that needs to be done. And they are also in touch with colleges. They are also in touch with the universities, which many times helps that they want their leaders to become more aware about, the students to become more aware about what are the career options they should follow when they get into the corporate world. That is one theme which is there, which teams works on it. At my level, I do mostly through LinkedIn. My LinkedIn Connect probably is good, I'll say. I'm quite regular in terms of writing it on LinkedIn. On a regular stuff, I write. It's not very standardized that I only write on one particular topic. Anything and everything with respect to HR, organization, careers, executive presence, leadership, I keep on writing. And I think that is one area where I will continue to focus because that is the way I connect with the people. And that is the way I get my audience. And they give a very instant feedback about it, whether they agree with me, whether they disagree to my point. I normally try to make at least one post every week. It can be a short post, it can be an article, it can be just sharing something which I feel is important for everyone. So that is one area. And secondly is, of course, as I said about my team, which is working currently on different campaign from time to time.
And in your team, do you also have coaches that help you out, or you do the coaching part?
Now, coaching, I only myself is doing it. I have still not built that kind of an ecosystem because, as I said, that there is an HR advisory and leadership consulting which I do. So the stakes are high, and I wanted to make sure that I do it myself and deliver it. At this point in time, from the coaching point of view, I am the only certified coach in my team.
And do you mostly work with like your audience is mostly local, or is it international?
Because, Rajan, as I shared in the beginning, I have worked across industries and into different countries. Predominantly, I worked in India. I have worked in Middle East, and some part of my work has also been into Singapore. So, from my coaching and my other businesses, my focus area is India and Middle East. So, it's an equal split right now. I get a lot of work from Middle East also, some portion from Singapore, and the rest of the work comes from India.
And in terms of investments, what resources or support has been most valuable for you growing this coaching business?
I think there are two resources I will say which is very important. One is of course, the team, which helps me look at it, what is the market requirement is, and how we should approach them, and how we should pitch for this. This is one. Second is the back office of making sure that everything is well recorded, everything is available when required, and there is a lot of confidentiality involved into it. So everything has to be recorded in a proper manner. So these are the resources which helps me.
Is there something you wish you had known when you first started scaling your coaching business? Is there like an unexpected lesson learned?
Yeah, I think if you ask me, and if I go back the memory lane 15 years ago, and in a hindsight, if I have to look it back, I think I should have been more focused on what kind of coaching I should be doing. Because in the beginning, as I said, because I was in a corporate world, so coaching started early, but coaching was very varied for me. And I think if I have to go back and recorrect that, probably I'll pick two or three themes of the coaching and focus on that only and give my deliverables and value to each of my clients based on that. So there are three areas which I'm very passionate about when it comes to coaching. One, as you said, about a career coaching, and that is of course a passion for me because I feel that is one of the fundamental issue which many people are struggling today in the industry, and that needs to be resolved. It has to be resolved not only for our purpose but also for the society purpose, because the more people those who are not happy with their job, and if they are not able to get the way to find the solution for that, the larger the issues for the society. So from societal point of view, career coaching is very passionate. I'm very passionate about it, and it's very close to me. Second piece comes is an executive coaching. Now, I will probably repeat myself when I say why I do executive coaching. For a reason, because I help them into their business and HR consulting. So executive CXOs are my go-to audience, which anyway I interact, and they require a lot of handholding in that sense. Third one, which I am not practicing that much right now, but is very close to my heart, is a peak performance coaching. And I feel that is also one area where, if I get time, I should work. And I wanted to stick myself to these three because it is very, very exhausting. It's a lot of preparation. At the same time, you have to make sure that you deliver value, whichever uh, theme you picked. And here I also wanted to make a point, which is a general point to everyone, is that it's very easy to offer variety of coaching, but it is very difficult to offer value in a variety of coaching because every interaction, every thought, every perspective which you bring has to be so much tailored. It has to be so much with depth that it is almost impossible that when we start focusing on all aspects or different types of coaching, it is we are too thin. So I personally feel two is the best. At the max three should not be more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there, what are some of the biggest challenges you face in scaling your coaching business or that you are still facing to this day?
See, Ritan, there are many challenges. Some are more like a business challenge, which is about how to get the work done and how to approach, how to generate lead. I'll call it as more as an operational challenge. But then there are some fundamental challenges also. Over the last 5 years, if I look back, coaching, unfortunately, as an industry, is becoming commoditized. It is becoming a commodity in a sense that there are too many coaches, some certified, some not certified. As a result, what is happening is that everybody is willing to offer a solution in the name of a coach. Now, the status attached a coaching session sometimes gets a hit because everyone call it as a coaching. It could be a general conversation, it could be a mentoring part of it, it could be a counseling, but it looks more fancy for everyone to give the name as a coaching. I think that is one of the challenge that this industry should have a good coaching platforms which should filter it out and make sure that the people those who service is standard and they should be able to bring value to each of their clients. So this is one of the challenge which I see. Also, something related challenge to this is a commodity because of coaching becoming a commodity. Also, the price point on which the coaching is now offered, it is bringing a diminishing return. So it becomes because somebody is offering at such a throwaway prices, everybody expectation from a coach to offer it at a very basic level pricing. Now that is not possible because at times, if the pricing point is not correct, the kind of the value you need to deliver it to the client will not be achieved. So it is becoming more like a volume game instead of a value game. And I see that as increasingly becoming a worry in the coaching industry, and that at some point in time that needs to be addressed. But as we always say, we are in the free market, and in free market, everything is uh, derived from the demand and supply aspect. So we cannot complain about it beyond a point. But this is one of the challenges which I'm facing.
But what about handling the balance between delivering great client results and managing business growth on the other side? Do you see a challenge there, or how do you handle this balance?
See, if I understood your question correct, you are asking me that one is that the regular business which I do, which has many other people in the business, and coaching which is more centric to me, which I give it to my client. That's the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, what I do is I maintain a very strict calendar for myself. I commit myself that 50% of my time goes to the coaching all the time. And the things which are not that much of importance from a business point of view, or the things which can be handled by a team from a non-coaching assignments, I normally try team to focus that more on. But when it comes to the coaching, it's very close. The baby is very close to my heart. So I try to make sure that I only handle that. And it's not that difficult as long as you are able to prioritize and as long as you are aware about is what is the kind of criticality which you are dealing it with.
In terms of going back to the question, so thanks for sharing that. Is there any aspect of running your coaching business that would figuratively keep you up at night? So it's like a worry for you?
Yeah. So many times it so happen, especially when it is a career coaching part of it. You have couple of times the clients which are desperately in a problem, and they are struggling, are suffering. I will use the word suffering, and for them the job, the career is at stake. And now, as much as I want it to be, it's very difficult to keep yourself away from that, because in the day when you're coaching them and there are some things which is not going in their favor, it keeps me bothered. It keeps me sometimes upset also. And of course, the very next day, I'll try my best to make sure that we look at this issue more objectively and able to find a common solution to the problem. This is on when it comes to my clients. Things from a coaching business which keeps me awake at night is probably I've already answered, is that the way it is becoming a commodity. And I personally feel if it is going to get diluted at this rate, when it becomes a commodity or everyone is offering at a throwaway price is the coach, I really don't know in future how the coaching uh, industry will be respected. It should not so happen that everyone start looking at as one of the volume driven business, more like a transaction rather than a value or investment in the interaction. So that is one of the things which bothers me at night.
Is there any advice you'd like to give to other career coaches who are looking to scale their impact?
I think everyone is good enough and professional to pick their things around what works for them. But still, few points I can say what I have learned the hard way. When it comes to a career coaching, the understanding about the uh, industry or the people you are coaching is very, very essential. Career is just not giving them some kind of a very basic level of tips and tricks to get the interview call or to get them some sort of CV making. It is actually about a career, and that is only possible when the career coaches are going to invest themselves into few industries, few roles, more specifically, so that they become more competent enough to address those issues, and their advice to the people will be more I'll say to them, because if you know those industries pretty well, you are able to give better advice. Second thing which I think for a career coach is also is important is look at offering a comprehensive solution. Many times I have seen, I have come to know through various sources only, that a career coach is sometimes focuses too much on their resume building or a branding part of it, and they do not go more deeper into about the individual traits about their career, about their aspirations about a career. And I always say that's my favorite line, that there is a difference between a job and a career. Now, most of the time, the career coaches try to solve the problem of a job, whereas their focus should be in solving the problem of a career. So, if you ask me, job is a subset of a career. It's not the same, and that is where the most of the times coaches are not able to differentiate and disintegrate. My advice to them is uh, focus on the career. That's a more long-term journey. Anybody is interested, and that is a more value add you can do. The current job or the next job is just incident. If they are prepared for a marathon, they can do a small run very easily. That's my advice to them.
Thank you so much. Thanks. It's been great having you on the podcast. I think a lot of our viewers are gonna find your advice very helpful. For anyone who wants to connect with you, they can connect with you on and your name in LinkedIn is Dr. Vineet Mangal, or they can also find you in bwise.in if they wanted to reach out to you as well. So it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you for coming, and yeah, let me know if anything else.
No, I think thank you so much. These questions were really insightful, and I think they're going to be really helpful. And through the series of this podcast, you people are doing a great job. It is I'll say like a service you are doing it, because it is going to address a lot of problems, especially in the career section of the people. And by getting these podcasts, a lot of things can be easily communicated to the people who are aspiring to have a better career in their life. So thank you so much for it.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.